right, this morning, President Biden is still under fire for those classified documents that were found in his private home and office. But just how common is the, quote, spillage of classified documents? We have new CNN reporting that you'll want to hear next. All right, this morning we got some new CNN reporting about how just common it could be for classified documents to be outside of the protected places and spaces they're supposed to be in. Experts in this matter say it is known as classified spillage. And in most cases, there are simple mistakes that are not typically charged as crimes.
Yeah, Caitlin, this kind of classified spillage happens almost literally every day. And most of the time, it's completely accidental. An employee accidentally takes home a classified document in a briefcase. In one example that we were told, the employee found a classified document that had been accidentally attached to an unclassified travel itinerary. He slept with it under his pillow for a night, returned it the next day, and that was that. Most of these cases are dealt with administratively, internally, with a simple conversation with the security officer at the agency in question. Now, of course, in more severe cases, there can be penalties such as losing your security clearance or even being fired. But part of the reason this is so common, Caitlin, is simply the law of large numbers. There are over 4 million security clearance holders floating around out there. And some national security officials will also acknowledge that the U.S. government has a pretty big problem with overclassification. There are just millions and millions and millions of pieces of classified information, not all of which are exquisite.
Yeah, I've heard that from so many officials, Democrats and Republicans talking about that, the idea of just basically everything being classified.
Yeah, the question is, when does it go from something that's handled administratively to something that the agency refers to the Justice Department for investigation and possible prosecution? And the answer is there's no hard and fast rule. It really depends on the case itself, the facts and the circumstances. What we have seen in some of these more high-profile cases of prosecution is that intent to mishandle the information is really the key factor here. Did you intend to hoard it, sell it, leak it? But as one CIA lawyer that we spoke to, or former CIA lawyer that we spoke to, said, the decision for agencies to make that referral to the DOJ, it's more art than science, Caitlin.
Yeah, I can think of a few lawyers and prosecutors who have intent on their mind these days when it comes to classified documents.
Let's bring in someone who would know about this. This is former Republican Congressman Adam Kinzinger, who is now a CNN senior political commentator. I don't know if you're a senior yet, but
I'm getting
anyway, you get it. It's just, you heard what Katie Bolo said, the conversation between Katie and Caitlin. Did you witness spillage? Like, what is your assessment and your take on all of it?
I mean, to me, it's unique because...
By the way, spillage is like...
I know, it's kind
accidentally sort of getting out there inadvertently.
It's like, here you go, here's a TSSCI document I lost. No, look, I'm not used to... For me, the two areas I had classified information was Congress and the military. Both were very controlled. So Congress, you're either in a SCIF or you're in, which is the... sensitive compartmentalized, I don't ever remember what it stands for, but it's basically where nobody can listen in. And it's where classified info can go. Or a big room, like when we'd have these massive briefings. There's no way you could take anything out of there. I mean, in my mind, the only way I could have gotten classified information out of anything is to memorize it or, write it down and nobody see me. It was hard. And then on the military side, we'd go into the vault, which is where you learn whether it's the nuclear mission I did when I was a tanker pilot or some of the weapon system of your enemy. You can't get stuff out of there either. So I don't know how it happens.
You never inadvertently, like, oh my gosh, just by accident taking something home? Or...
I don't even know how I could if I wanted to, because it's just like, if you do have access to anything, you're usually being stared at by people, making sure you don't walk out of there with that. I guess if you're a person that's handling that, like you're the handler of the information for people like me, I could see how it'd be possible, but it's still hard for me to really see how that would work out, especially for it to be common.
Isn't that different when you're president and vice president? It's like they just kind of grab what they want, or deliver it to them, and you know what I mean?
I mean, look, to end up with classified information, near your Corvette or at Mar-a-Lago, something has to be done differently than anything I've experienced. So I think when you're president, it's probably a little more like, hey, the White House is secure, your residence is secure. Still, though, I think we definitely need to get a little better at this.